My dear, I know deep in my heart that you love me. I've seen it in your eyes before, and I can still see it now. It's not just a fleeting emotion or a moment of weakness, your love for me is real. I've always known that you care for me deeply, even when you struggle to understand or express it. From the very beginning, I sensed that there was something about me that intrigued you, something that stirred your soul in a way you didn't quite know how to handle. You've always been fascinated by the intensity of my feelings for you. Time and time again, you asked me why I loved you so much, why I was willing to hold on so tightly even when things seemed so uncertain. The truth is, my love was never one-sided. You loved me too, maybe not in a way you could articulate back then, but the feelings were there. You just hadn't realized it. And so I waited. There was a time when I would pray with all my heart for God to help you recognize what you truly felt for me. My heart believed in your love, even when your actions didn't align with it. It believed so deeply that it often ached, knowing you were unaware of what lived inside you. I carried that pain in silence, hoping that one day, your heart would catch up to what mine already knew. But as time passed, that hope began to fade. I started to accept reality, to release the desperate need for clarity or validation. I stopped clinging to the idea of us. I told myself that if we were meant to be together, God would find a way to make it happen, without force, without begging, without me losing myself in the process. Slowly, I surrendered. I let go of the chase and started to rediscover my own joy. I began focusing on my life, finding happiness in the ordinary: sunsets, laughter with friends, quiet mornings, and peaceful nights. I stopped waiting. I stopped praying for your love to awaken. I stopped trying to convince you. And yet, even in the silence, the connection between us remained. It was so strong, so deeply rooted, that I could still feel you. I could sense your emotions, especially your sadness, even when we weren't speaking. But I chose to stay strong. I chose not to reach out, not to fall back into old patterns. I had to protect my heart. I had to honor the healing I had fought so hard for. And as I grew stronger, you began to feel the weight of everything you had buried. You started to realize something was missing. You reached out, unsure, confused, perhaps a little afraid. But even then, you didn't fully understand what you felt for me. And so, I kept my distance. I couldn't afford to break all over again. I focused instead on myself, on healing, on rebuilding. I worked on becoming whole again. Meanwhile, you were on your own journey. You faced your own struggles, your own awakening. It wasn't easy for you, and I know that now. But in a way, the distance between us was a blessing. It gave us both the space we needed to grow. You finally began to uncover the truth of what had always been in your heart, and I came to realize my worth, the love I deserved, not just the love I was willing to give. Now, things are different. Now, this connection between us is balanced. There's no more chasing, no more running. We are no longer two people lost in our emotions, unsure of what we want or how to give it. We've grown. We've matured. I've become more grounded, more practical. I've learned not to lose myself in love, but to find strength in it. And you've softened. You've allowed yourself to feel, to be vulnerable, to open your heart in ways you never did before. At long last, we are on the same page. We had to walk through fire to get here. We had to endure heartbreak, confusion, and silence. But every step, every tear, every moment of loneliness led us to this place. And now, it all makes sense. It was all worth it. Because this, what we have now, is real. It is mutual. It is love in its purest form, not desperate, not demanding, but steady, honest, and true. I love you. Not because I'm hoping for something in return, not because I need you to complete me, but because loving you is part of who I am. And finally, I know, with certainty, that you love me too. I'm truly sorry, more than words can really express. Please know that I never wanted to diminish or disregard the feelings you have for me. Hurting you was never my intention, nor was breaking your heart. I understand how painful and frightening it is to open up emotionally, to bear your vulnerability to someone who may or may not feel the same. I've been exactly where you are now, and I know just how heavy that emotional weight can be. I remember the ache, the longing, the confusion, and the hope that somehow things would fall into place. I don't take your honesty for granted. It takes courage to confess something so deeply personal, and I respect you immensely for doing so. There was a time when I longed for this moment, you know. I dreamed of hearing you say the words I always wished for. I prayed, literally prayed, to be with you. I imagined us together, building a future, supporting each other through life. You meant so much to me back then. You were everything. But sweetheart, as heartbreaking as it is to say this, you're too late. Time has passed, and with it, so have those hopes. The person I used to be, the one who waited, who hoped, who loved you silently and patiently, is no longer here in the same way. For so long, I waited for you to feel the same, to see me the way I saw you. I kept hoping that something would change, that one day you'd look at me and finally understand what I felt so deeply. But that day never came. You gave me no sign, no encouragement. In fact, you often made it clear that you didn't feel anything for me beyond friendship. I held on for as long as I could, but every time you said those words, it chipped away at my hope. Eventually, I had to accept what I was hearing and let go. I couldn't keep waiting endlessly. I had to make a choice, and for the first time, I chose myself. I still care about you, genuinely. I still hold a deep respect for who you are and what you mean to me. In some quiet, distant way, I still love you. But the truth is, I'm not in love with you anymore. That part of me, so raw and so devoted, has healed. The love I once carried so fiercely for you has softened. It's no longer a burning desire, it's a quiet memory, a chapter I've closed with both pain and peace. Where I am now in life is a place I've worked hard to reach. I'm finally happy. Truly happy. And that happiness didn't come easily. It took months, years even, of emotional struggle, growth, and reflection. I had to unlearn many things. I had to stop believing that I needed someone else to complete me. I had to understand what it meant to love myself, to value my own needs, to recognize my worth without looking for external validation. You see, I used to make you the center of my world. Every goal, every dream, every moment of joy, I tied it all to you. And when I finally came to terms with the fact that you didn't return those feelings, it broke me. It shattered me. But in that brokenness, I found clarity. I learned who I was outside of you. I learned that I deserve love that is mutual, certain, and present, not delayed or conditional. I became someone stronger, wiser, and more in tune with what I need and deserve. And I love this version of myself. I don't want to go back to who I was, naive, insecure, endlessly waiting for signs that never came. That girl needed love so badly that she forgot to love herself first. So yes, hearing how you feel now stirs something in me. I'd be lying if I said it didn't touch a part of me that once hoped for exactly this. And in a way, I'm happy to know that you care. But there's another part of me, a bigger, stronger part, that is afraid. Afraid of going back to a version of life where I lose myself again. Afraid of stepping into a darkness that I worked so hard to climb out of. I can't go back there. I won't. I hope we can remain friends. That's something I'm open to, something I believe we can still share in a meaningful way. But that's the limit of what I can offer. I have to choose myself again, just like I did before. I have found peace, and I intend to hold on to it. I don't want to be a fool in love again, especially not with someone who took too long to see my worth. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you find love, happiness, and everything else your heart desires. There are no hard feelings, only understanding, closure, and acceptance. But please understand that I'm not ready, and more importantly, I'm no longer willing to be with you. That chapter has ended, and I'm finally okay with that.